we ready? Alex, are we ready? Okay, good. So we'll call, excuse me, call the regular business meeting of the Board of Education for Monday, August 27th to order. If I could ask everyone to please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome. A new year begins anew. It was a quick summer for a lot of us, I know, and a lot of work done over the last couple months getting everything ready. And I know we're off to a good and quick start. Roll call, please.
Stephen Arthur.
Here.
Jim Batson.
Here.
Alex Deli-Polly.
Here.
Pat Purdy.
Here.
Karen Lundstedt. Here. Sean Maurer. Here. Bill Ratzer.
Here. Okay, everybody is present. Our agenda this morning, been a long day. We will have our educational presentation. We'll hear all about opening day festivities. Really just a brief president's report. We'll have reports from our brand new school board representatives. We missed you over the summer, but we were thinking about you. Superintendent's report. We'll approve the consent vote agenda, which was reviewed in committee. We'll have updates from Program and Personnel Committee and Facilities and Finance Committee. We will just have a brief discussion to schedule a Property Committee meeting later in September. CEDAW update, Illinois Association of School Boards, and that should do it for tonight. All right, anything else? Okay. Educational presentation, opening day.
Well, we're going to be very brief tonight, and certainly Marina and Ellen can say a little bit about their opening days, but I think we had one of the best. We have great openings every year, but I think the consensus is we had one of the best openings at the two buildings and at the district that any of us can remember, and that is obviously in large part to the work of Ellen and her team and Marina and her team in preparing for opening days at the buildings. In our district, the high schools both bring the teachers in first on day one on Monday, and then we have the district opening day on Tuesday, and they do such a great job of welcoming new staff, of recognizing accomplishments of current staff, also having some fun as part of that process, and then setting direction for the year. And the following day at the district level, we also spend a great deal of time in terms of recognizing staff, our new tenured teachers in the district, our teachers who have earned a national board certification, and things of that nature. And that's become a big part of our culture in the district, because we need to celebrate the achievements and success of our staff along the way. So it was great. It was really nice to see Karen and Jim were able to make opening day at the district office, or at the district level. So it was great that they were there. We had a chance to introduce them to the teachers and the staff, and it's always nice to have you with us when we do those types of things. So Ellen and Marina, I don't know if you want to make any comments about your 2 days.
I think you covered it.
Okay.
You did a great commercial. And Alan was a great historic figure. Ours was an Olympic game. So we've been experiencing all summer. But we have a lot to celebrate with great AP scores, PSAE scores, and really to celebrate some of the student achievements that are directly related to both you guys and the staff who teach it.
Good stuff,
Thanks for
Ellen.
being with us. We had a real fun opening, had a funny opening video and all, and then just really kind of set the instructional vision. So.
It's for folks that aren't in the district, and particularly obviously at the two buildings, the acculturation of staff in this district is something really to behold. When we bring new staff on board, the way they're welcomed, the messages that are sent along the way, from the first time they come in as new employees, and then through the building days, and also at the district, and then picking up on that during the school year with support and professional development along the way. It's just an amazing place for teachers to work, and for support staff and administrators to join the district. So hats off again to both of you and your teams for just an amazing job. So thank you.
Good. Okay, just a brief president's report. The only thing I'll highlight is last week we did approve the new teacher's contract. So the new contract was overwhelmingly ratified by the teachers and approved by the board last week. And I'd really just like to take a minute to acknowledge a number of people that worked very hard throughout the summer in order to make that happen. So Alex Delapoli was our key statistician. He's a master with spreadsheets and spent many, many hours doing a lot of the work that was real important to us as we went into the negotiations. Of course, the administrative team of Dr. Fleming, Yasmin Data, Dr. Lee, also with us many nights, going through a lot of the information that we had. Ellen Maurer and I, who participated in a lot of the discussions, and then really the rest of the board, and all of the hard work that you guys put in, really to get us prepared and be ready for the discussions. Having said that, I really can't say enough about our teachers and their negotiating team. It, of course, was a challenging discussion, as any of these negotiations are, especially in a difficult environment, but I think we worked really hard to get an agreement that was absolutely good for both sides. And so we say a lot, and I know we always mean how valuable the teachers are to us in this district and to the students in the district. And it was very important for us to really end those discussions on a high note, and I think we did that. So I really just applaud everybody, and you know, my, call it 25 years of working in teams of various sorts. I think that was about as good a team as I've been part of. And really I saw the same thing on both sides of the table. So it was a really good experience, and I'm excited. There were some really interesting parts of the contract that I think were good for both sides, and I just compliment everybody that was part of it. So thanks for all your hard work, and it'll be another 3 years until we have to do it all over again. All right, superintendent's report, or school board, I'm sorry, student school board members. Who would like to go first?
Okay, well, with the start of a new school year, we have a lot going on. Last Wednesday, August 22nd, marked the first day of the 2012-2013 school year. Many students enjoyed the late start and will continue to enjoy them on a weekly basis. Academics and sports are already in full swing. The boys football team defeated Barrington 24-20 in the last 45 seconds of the fourth quarter on Friday night. Other sports teams are busy with daily practices to prepare for their meets and games. Last Thursday, freshmen piled into the main gym for their very own dance, while the football team hosted the annual kickoff dance on Saturday night. The next dance coming up at the school is homecoming on September 22nd. The theme is Disney, with the catchphrase, LHS, the Magic Kingdom. And the second year of Link Crew is in progress, with reports of a successful orientation and students that are, quote, very well behaved. And finally, Student Council is starting a new tradition and hosting a community-wide movie night on the football field on Saturday, September 15th to kickstart homecoming week.
Great job.
Kind of just to elaborate on one of her points was Link Crew. So you guys probably know this. Link Crew is a program that we have to introduce freshmen to the schools. I know Libertyville has, I'm not sure if Vernon Hills does too. But one thing that was new this year that was, in the spirit of celebrating all these achievements is last year I was a leader, and this year what we had to do was you actually had to call our freshmen, and which is, I mean, if I had been called as a freshman, that would have been one of the most welcoming things that anyone could have done for me. And I think that's one thing that I really wanted to talk about, because if something like that, if we do that every year, I think the transition to high school will be much, much easier. And things like just the daily troubles that come with going to high school won't be as much of a problem. So it's really it.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thanks for doing that, because I had several parent comments on that too. One of them being Dr. Lee, about with his daughter being called.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's just excellent. Thank you for everybody's work on that.
And Allie, I talked to Allie this morning, and I just wonder if some type of emergency came up. So we talked this morning, so maybe she'll come running now. So.
If she comes in, we'll give her a chance to do it.
Absolutely.
Hopefully she'll. Okay. Superintendent's report.
Okay, more good news. Keep it coming. The September 2012 issue of Chicago Magazine ranks Libertyville High School and Vernon Hills High School among the top 5 public high schools in Lake County. LHS was ranked number 3 and VHH was ranked number 5. Oh, we actually have that reversed, don't we? Yeah, that's correct, right. Congratulations to LHS students Michael Ovasapian and Alex Wang and VHHS student Matthew Tabrizi for their outstanding performance on the ACT College Admission and Placement Exam. Each student earned a perfect score of 36. On August 7th, Vernon Hills High School business education teacher Sean Kervier was a panelist during a session at the American Accounting Association annual meeting in Washington, D.C. The moderator was Dr. Dan Dinas of Kansas State University. The title of the session was A Project to Establish an Advanced Placement Course in Accounting. Sean has served on a 5-member National Accounting Pilot and Bridge Project training and curriculum development team for the past 3 years. The team has spent the last 4 summers traveling and training other high school teachers on how to implement this curriculum into their accounting programs. This past spring and summer, Sean personally traveled to Boston, North Carolina, Eastern Illinois University, the University of Alaska at Anchorage, and Washington, D.C. for the project. As of now, the group has trained over 700 high school accounting teachers in over 40 different states. Based on his work with this project, Sean will receive the Bridge Award, which is presented annually by Kansas State's School of Business Accounting Department for outstanding contributions to accounting education. He will receive the award on September 7th at Kansas State University in Manhattan, Kansas. So thanks to Sean and congratulations for his efforts. Congratulations to the following LHS teams that qualified for the IHSA Team Academic Achievement Award for 2011 and 12. Boys baseball, boys basketball, bowling, swimming and diving, tennis, track and field, volleyball, water polo, and wrestling. And girls basketball, bowling, competitive cheerleading, gymnastics, soccer, softball, track and field, and water polo. The LHS Wind Ensemble and Percussion Ensemble were selected to perform at the All-National Concert Band Festival in Indianapolis on March 14th through the 16th. They were among 16 bands chosen to perform. And finally, the LHS Chamber Orchestra was selected to perform at the Illinois Music Educators Association All-State Convention in Peoria, and we know that that is a big deal. The other thing I will note tonight, in September, we'll have a little bit more detailed report, but the board is aware, maybe the students are aware, but we have posted record student achievement in advanced placement testing this year, as well as our ACT results. And we want to highlight tonight that Libertyville High School has matched their historic high on ACT composite of 25.3. Vernon Hills, for the first time, has cracked 25.0. They are at 25.4, and the district so they're also at historic high level, and the district is now at a historic high level of 25.3. So congratulations to the students, and thanks to the teachers and administrators in the buildings for their outstanding work, and just keep it going. It's really good. Next on the superintendent's report this evening, the board will note that you have 2 FOIA requests as noted in your package. And I have the pleasure tonight, we have 31 donations this month. So we want to take a few minutes, and 31, Ellen, really. And that's, I think, the highest number that we've had in any one period of time since I've been here. So we want to take a few minutes and celebrate the contributions of our community. First, Mr. and Mrs. Stephen Gian. They donated $100 to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund at Community High School District 128. Their contributions have been set aside for use by the Special Services Department at LHS. Also, this letter acknowledges Mr. and Mrs. Bill Abington. Again, a $2,000 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund at Community High School District 128. Next, donation of $50 to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund by Mr. and Mrs. Charles Giordano. A $25 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund by Ms. Terry Lynn Hammond Sterling for the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund. A $300 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from the Seaver Heights Baptist Church in Knoxville, Tennessee. $100 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. Billy Sanford, Nashville, Tennessee. A $75 contribution to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. Eric Roth in Libertyville. A $200 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Reed in Libertyville. A $100 contribution to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. Kevin Burns in Libertyville. A $50 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mrs. Catherine Miller Corso in Rolling Meadows. A $50 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. H. Scott Blyler in Mundelein. $50 contribution to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. James Klein Jr. in Libertyville. $50 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. Stephen Simonian in Libertyville. And $15 contribution to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. Brian Snader in Libertyville. $25 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. Paul Putrich from Buffalo Grove. And a $25 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. Gregory Gorgon in Cary, Illinois. So we'd like to thank all of them for donating to the fund. And apparently are we front and back here? Okay, so working backwards now, a $50 donation, thanks Pat for picking that up, and Denise, thanks for saving the paper. $50 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. James Dawes in Grays Lake. $50 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. Kenneth Jensen in Libertyville. $50 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. Chun Kim in Round Lake. $50 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. Kevin Bozeman in Buffalo Grove. $50 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Ms. Sylvia Garcia in Park City. $50 to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. Stephen Callan in Libertyville. $50 to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. Daniel Coughlin in Libertyville. $100 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. John Vernasco in Libertyville. $200 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. John Schuler in Libertyville. $100 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Ms. Pamela Dempsey in Libertyville. $500 contribution to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. John Stewart in Libertyville. $50 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from SUNY Co. in Wheeling. $500 contribution to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. David Windmuller in Libertyville. $75 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. T.G. Farrell in Louisville, Texas. And a $30 donation to the Reed Stewart Memorial Fund from Mr. and Mrs. Van Cisco in Cordova, Tennessee. So thanks to all of those individuals who have donated to this fund. That money was designated to for the Special Services Department at Libertyville High School to use in assisting our students in that program. So thanks to everyone. And that concludes the superintendent's report. Pat, as unbelievable as that is for tonight.
Very good. Thank you very much. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak? Seeing none. Consent vote agenda is listed, was reviewed in committee. Can I ask for a motion to approve the consent vote agenda, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Arthur?
Aye.
Batson?
Aye.
Delli Polly?
Aye.
Rudy?
Aye.
Munstead? Aye. Mauer? Aye. Ratzer?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Program and Personnel Committee update, Chairperson Oliver.
And we have one item, and that is hiring or the employment of employees. So look for a motion to approve the employment of employees as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Batson?
Aye.
Delli Polly?
Aye.
Rudy?
Aye.
Munstead?
Aye.
Mauer? Aye. Ratzer?
Aye.
Arthur?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And that concludes the report.
All right. Facilities and Finance Committee, Chairperson Arthur.
We have several items this evening. One will be the approval of the fiscal year 13 budget, as well as some bid awards that we wish to do. And a third item that has been tabled for further discussion in the F&F committee meeting coming up, which is an agreement on some licensing for sporting goods. So the first item up would be the approval of the fiscal year 13 budget. Yes, did you want to say anything about the budget?
Budget was discussed in great detail at a number of committee meetings and board meetings also of the fiscal year 12-13. At this point in the budget, we are showing a surplus at the end of the year of about $1.6 million, and we hope to do better by the end of the year.
So without further ado, I'm looking for a motion to approve the 2013 budget as stands.
I make a motion that we approve the FY13 budget.
Second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Kelly Polly.
Aye.
Grudy.
Aye.
Munstead. Aye. Mauer. Aye. Ratzer.
Aye.
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Moving on then to the bid awards, we have 3 of them. First one up is a motion for the board to accept the bid from Buck Brothers of Libertyville to provide Libertyville High School with a John Deere 1445 Series commercial front mower in the amount of $30,037.
I move to accept the bid from Buck Brothers for the John Deere mower for the rebuilds.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Munstead.
Aye.
Mauer. Aye. Ratzer.
Aye.
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Kelly Polly.
Aye.
Grudy.
Aye. Motion carries.
Second item up is a motion to accept the 3-year bid from Facility Environmental Management, Inc. of St. Charles, Illinois, to provide Libertyville High School, Vernon Hills High School, and the District Administration Office with trash removal and recycling services, as listed in the table. I'm not going to try and describe the table of services.
The important thing, sir, is to remember that this is a third-party organization that we're approving the bid. The actual company that will pick up the refuse is Lake Shore Disposal.
Thanks, Jess.
Thank you, sir.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mauer. Aye. Ratzer.
Aye.
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Kelly Polly.
Aye.
Grudy.
Aye.
Munstead.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And the third and final bid is a motion to approve the proposal for the auditorium renovation work at Libertyville High School to the Bowler Construction Company of Waukegan, Illinois, in a base bid of $205,500.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Ratzer.
Aye.
Arthur.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Kelly Polly.
Aye.
Grudy.
Aye.
Munstead.
Aye.
Mauer.
Aye.
And refresh my memory, when did that actually occur?
The door part of it will happen soon. The rigging will happen this next week, and the shell will happen over winter break.
Okay, they complete during winter break?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Great.
Assuming that Wagner provides the shell.
Yeah, okay. All right. Is that it?
And once again, we are tabling the licensing agreement topic for another FNX meeting.
Okay.
Further discussion.
All right. All right, thanks very much. Property Committee, just one request. I'd actually like to suggest we have a committee of the whole meeting. We don't actually have a formal property committee anymore, but I'd like to kind of add that to our committee meetings next month, just briefly, probably 15, 20 minutes. We'll talk about Brainerd, and we should also talk about potential property acquisitions. Okay? So we'll just earmark a little bit of time for that. CEDAW.
No reports, but we do have our quarterly meeting coming up next week, so.
Okay. Illinois Association of School Boards, no update, which I believe then sets us up at the beginning of the year in record fashion. Are there any other topics? All right. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.